Hey beautiful people, I hope you're having a fantastic Friday and looking forward to the weekend, no doubt. It is the most amazing weather here today. I'm really excited just to be out and about. I'm about to go for a swim after I go for a quick walk and have a quick chat with you guys just about obviously coming from our head to our heart and how to live into that more and more every single day. So hey Nick, great to have you on here, darling. Hey Jerry, sorry I can't see properly whilst I'm walking. Hey Lisa, great to have you on, darling. So making the journey from our head to our heart, when we're stuck in our head, we tend to be a lot, obviously, in the survival mind as well. So, hey Kerry, great to have you on. Hi Di. It is really one of those challenges of what to actually do when we're feeling stressed, when we're feeling anxious, and when we're feeling scared about things, or uncertain perhaps, you know, how we're actually feeling and what's actually going on inside. And the problem with being in our head is that it doesn't matter what we do. So we can try and heal ourselves forever, and we can try and overcome every single limiting thought and belief. And I know you guys will probably laugh at this as well a little bit, simply because it's obviously one of the things that I've worked on for such a long time. But what I'm actually really beginning to realize, and what I really want to share with you guys, is you can actually bypass all of that stuff. We can literally try and clear limiting beliefs until the cows come home. And one of the things that I discovered was definitely around fear, is that with all of our fears that come up, every single level that you get to, there will always be another fear. This is really normal because the survival mind wants to protect us. It's its function. It's what it's actually meant to do. It's not designed for success. It is designed to keep us alive. So it will try and keep you safe. It will try and keep you certain that everything is going to be okay. So every time we grow in a particular area, that becomes then challenging for the survival mind to get our head around. And it can really prevent us from moving forward. It can really prevent us from feeling great within ourselves, from feeling calm, from feeling loving, particularly like if we're diving into a new relationship and things like that. There's all those blocks and barriers that come up, and that's really normal and it's okay. But when we live there every single day, that is painful, because that turns into feelings of anxiety, feelings of depression, that we can't kind of do or live the way that we want to. Hey Sania, great to have you on, darling. Sorry, my voice seems to be changing now that I'm out and about. So it really can make things very challenging for ourselves every single day when the noise in our head just gets too much. And with everything bombarding us, like there's so much, even just, you know, watching the news or reading the newspapers or social media. Hey John, great to have you on here. Hey Rach. It really can bombard the mind, and particularly in the world of comparison and things like that. All of that is the survival mind. So how do we start to live from our heart, our highest self every single day? This is taking time out to really tune into. And if you've been following me for a while, you'll know this is a repetitive message that I say, simply because I know when I'm in my head, I'm not being my best self. I'm worried about things, I'm uncertain, I'm just like everybody else. And all of the most successful people on the planet have these moments as well. So we're all really human, which is really, really great. So if that's going on for you, guess what? You're really normal and you're really human, and it's totally okay. But it's knowing how to bypass that so that you don't have to feel like, oh my God, I've been working on this for so long and here it is again and here it is again, and feeling frustrated and annoyed that you're actually not getting where you want to be. Hey Chris, great to have you on. So this is really, really great. And what we can actually do by taking time just to tune into and feel into your heart every single day, what you'll actually find is the more that you do this, you'll start to hear a quiet, inner, calm voice that feels different, and you'll know it feels different. Hey Sam, great to have you on. You'll know that it's different because there'll be a calmness about it that you've actually probably not experienced before. Thank you for the love. I love lots of love hearts, obviously. this is the more that we actually take some time to either meditate or do things that you love, and you'll know when you're in your heart and your soul, because you'll be in the moment. You'll be really appreciating whatever's around you. So whether it's like beautiful nature like all around here so it's actually just the most amazing walk. But I find this is one of the reasons why I like to walk under the stars of a morning as well, because it makes me be so present in the moment. And it's why a lot of the spiritual teachers talk about living in the moment, because we're actually more associated back into our body, we're tapping into our senses, and we're experiencing what is actually going on right now, as opposed to being in our head, worrying about past things that have happened, feeling depressed that we can't change things about the past, or feeling anxious and worried about even problems that may never ever happen. The mind really, it is such a source of imagination, but are we using it in the best way as well? So hey Chrissy, and hey Glenda, great to have you both on here. So whether we're using our imagination in a really powerful way. Now, the key to this is really when we start living from our heart, we can actually align our mind with our heart and our soul. And that is where the true power comes, because then the soul can direct the mind, as opposed to the mind running away with the body and saying, right, we're panicking about this, and then the whole nervous system goes into like adrenal burnout and dysfunction, and you just don't feel good in your body either because of the anxiety that you're actually feeling. So when you spending more and more time living from the soul, living from the heart, then you will have greater peace, you'll feel better in your physical body, you'll be able to move towards those new goals because you'll be actually feeling inspired rather than motivated by fear, which is what the survival mind does. It's like, oh my God, you better do that because otherwise you're going to fail. Or some of the other stories obviously that get generated and created, or we feel like we're not enough, or that we're not worthy, or any of that rubbish that the survival mind tells us, because that's its function. It wants to keep you safe. So I'm just turning around now. So definitely taking some time each day just to tune in. The more that you do this, the more you'll be able to do it. And I know that sounds a little bit silly saying that, but the more comfortable you become, and the quicker and easier you'll be able to access this part of you. And living from that space is where the true joy, the true freedom really comes. And I really believe that every single human wants to be free from the fear, free from resistance, free from feeling bad, of feeling out of control perhaps, or feeling like they can't control their circumstances. And that feeling of powerlessness literally comes from the survival mind, thinking that it hasn't got a choice, or that it's trapped, or that it's stuck, or that it's paralyzed by fear. So the more that you come back to your heart, new solutions and new ways of thinking and new opportunities will flow to you easier and easier than ever before. So I challenge you guys today to take some time out, do some meditation, or take just even some quiet space, and just allow yourself to sit there, observe your thoughts. So of course the mind is part of our whole system, and the mind will continue with its thoughts because that's what it does. So the more that you can actually separate yourself, or feel like there's another aspect of you which is observing the thoughts as well, it will help you to become less and less attached to what's actually going on in the mind. And the more that we can detach from what the mind's doing, then it doesn't actually need to control us anymore. So that might be a first start for you. And if you've been doing that for a long time, maybe just journaling and getting into a flow state of whether it's getting out in nature or being really present in the moment, which will help you to access that larger part of you. When you're accessing that larger part of you, there is nothing to be healed, there is nothing to be worked on, there is nothing to be worked through. There's just pure joy in the moment, moving through and taking aligned action from a place of true knowingness, as opposed to have to, need to, should, obligated, push, worry, struggle, effort, all of those functions of the mind. So just know, if you're actually in that state of push, struggle, effort, have to, need to, should, obligated, you're functioning from the mind, which is the smaller self. So it's the ego and survival mind, as opposed to, hey Sal, thanks so much darling, Yeah, so just know if you're functioning in that state, or you're defending, justifying, blaming, criticizing, all of that is functions of the ego and functions of the survival mind. Hey Kate, great to have you on, darling. So when we come back to our heart, then we can feel just so much more peace, so much more inner serenity. I know when I first experienced this, I was actually on top of an amazing hill that I'd hiked up at a yoga retreat, a yoga ashram many years ago, and it was 30 seconds of the most divine bliss that I ever experienced before my mind jumped in and took over again. And I've been able to be fortunate enough, hey Andrew, great to have you on. I've been able to be fortunate enough to expand that into more and more longer states of that feeling of bliss, of that feeling of serenity, of calmness. And now every day I spend time during the day immersing myself more and more in that, because I know that's where my true knowingness comes from. It's where I feel completely guided in my life as to what directions that I need to do and take, and it's helped me to stop trying to search for the answers outside of myself. My inner being, my inner knowingness knows everything. It has all of my answers, and so I can stop seeking and searching outside of myself as well. So the more that you can do this for you, the more you will feel, like I said, those feelings of inner peace, inner serenity, and be able to come back more and more to your truest self, not that function of the mind or the ego that says I must be the pleaser, or I can't upset people, or I can't speak my truth, or I can't do this because that's going to upset this person, or I have to, need to, should be all of these things because that's what society tells me. So there is so much more peace, so much more freedom to be found when we can come back to our heart and be our truest self. So hope that's been helpful for you guys this morning. Hey Justine, great to have you on, and wishing you all the most amazing Friday. I'm off to go for a beautiful swim now and I really hope that's brought a sense of peace within yourself, that if you haven't accessed that part of you before, that it is actually very, very possible and very, very real for you to be able to do that as well. So have an amazing rest of your day, guys. Bye for now.